Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. All right. Shit. All right. Cool. That confused me. Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah,
Hey, oh, by the edge of my girlfriend loves you. She's supposed to say hi.
Oh, hi.
She's like, I love watching her fight. Can I say hi? I was like, yes, you can.
Yay. I love her too.
Yeah.
Aw. How you
Yes.
doing?
Fucking tired, man. It's what? I'm trying to fix this. We're what? 3 weeks out. I'm fucking tired. But yeah.
How are you navigating with the holiday season in camp?
I've trained every holiday for the last 17 years, so it's no different to me. Like I'm not a holiday person. My childhood ruined that for me, so like I don't miss anything. Like, yeah.
Oh.
No,
What
we're
do
good.
you
We're good.
mean?
Dude, Christmas in the Curtis household was a war zone. And like, no, man, it's like I think I was like 12 when the last time we celebrated Christmas, and my mom canceled Christmas on Christmas Eve. And I was just like, okay, like deal, like never again. So like since 12, I've put no stock in Christmas at all. I'm like, no, it's fine.
Were y'all being bad, or she just
really
couldn't,
no,
couldn't deal?
when we were young, my mom had a crazy hormonal imbalance. She's a little bit insane. We were terrible children sometimes, but like not that terrible. But she had a crazy hormonal imbalance. And she canceled Christmas on Christmas Eve. And I at 12, and I was like, you know what? Never again.
So do you go crazy for your kid for Christmas?
I don't. I don't. So my oldest son, his mom was a Christmas person. She wilds out for Christmas every year, and I'm like, okay, you can take care of Chris, fine. She like Stephanie is insane for Christmas, and then Lauren's been doing Christmas stuff. We've got Christmas decorations up. I didn't know it was Christmas week until like she told me, because she's like, yeah, my parents will be here. I was like, yeah, like on Friday. I was like, oh, next Friday. She's like, tomorrow Friday, and I was like, what day is it? Like, where? Like, I don't. Yeah, I had no idea it was even Christmas. Like, yeah, so
I've lost a couple weeks of this month. I don't know where they went, but I'm
right,
surprised as well.
Yeah, it totally. Like, I've been confused for a while now, like not understanding what day it was. And they're just like, yeah, it's Christmas. I'm like, Christmas week. I'm like, holy shit! I didn't buy anybody anything. Like, I didn't buy a single present. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, you guys are okay.
Well, you're in a gym with a bunch of hooligans who probably also don't know what day it is. Like it's just, you know what day of the week it is for training, but you don't really know anything outside of that.
Yeah, right. I acknowledge, like, I don't really like the present thing is weird to me. I'm like, okay, we had this talk. And I was like, she understands I don't buy Christmas gifts. I will buy you anything you want at any given time in the year, but don't expect me to surprise you. Like, it's just not like, no, like I don't do that. Like, say what you want, I will gladly go buy it for you, but I don't do the surprise gift thing. It's very, I think it's inefficient and stressful for everybody. So like, no.
Well, I think you communicated that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we had to talk, and it's fine. She's like, you know what? It's fine. Like, she doesn't expect gifting. I'm not like a holiday gift person. I try to do stuff all year round, all the time, like small stuff and surprises. But like when it comes to holiday gifts, I'm not going to stress myself out trying to figure out what you may or may not like. I'm like,
yeah, no,
I buy you stuff, and then I'm like, you have my info, you have my credit cards. Buy whatever you want. Like, yeah, like knock yourself out.
That's a sign of a mature relationship for sure.
Hi there. There's like, talk to me. Hi there.
Oh, he's so cute.
Hi. So you have 2 kids?
Yeah, 17-year-old and a 1-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah,
how's that?
Yeah, it's great. 17-year-old gives zero. He's like, he just doesn't care. He's 17. He's like, he doesn't even talk to me right now. He's like his little girl. He's got this little girlfriend. So like all of his free time is dedicated to his girlfriend now. And I'm just like, wow, like he was the biggest daddy boy his entire life. And now he discovered girls and he's off doing his thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because like we even called it. We was on the phone with him, and he's like, he's being brand new. He's like going to bed early, like he's showering more than normal. And like the stuff he asked me to buy, like, you know, like scented cologne. I'm like, what's going on? And they were like, this little girl was acting brand new. And there was a pause. He didn't deny it. It was just a pocket of a blank stare. I was like, oh my God.
That's amazing.
So he hit that age.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I think last time I talked to you, he was like 5, or no, it was a while ago. He must have been like 14 back then.
Yeah. Well, now oh my God, he's fallen into that age. And I'm like, oh my. And he's a smart ass too. Like that's my fault. That's entirely my fault. He's a huge smart ass. So like just the shit he says, I'm just like, oh my god, like I can't. You're almost 18, so it's fine. Like it's I don't have to deal with it. Like, but it's at 18, I can stop paying for things like like now you're on your own, get a job. But like he knows too. I'm holding over your head. The moment you turn 18, like you get a job. But man, he's a good kid. He's just a smart ass. Like, oh,
That's kind of a good thing, though, right? You
I
know, people are gonna mess with
it.
him.
He questioned, like, I mean, I raised him to question everything. Like, if you don't like something, like, voice it and ask why. And so it's great. I believe it's important to, like, raise kids who are comfortable questioning what they're told. That being said, there are some times that just do what I tell you and stop questioning me. But you can't have it all. So I'd rather take an inquisitive kid than a one who blindly accepts orders.
That's awesome. Good dadding on your part.
I'm trying. It's there have been some missteps, but like, there have been hilarious missteps. So now we're trying Dad Program 2.0. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
That's how it always goes.
Yeah, we learned hilarious mistakes from your brother, didn't we? Like, yeah.
Yeah, you're the lucky one.
Right? He's growing up rich. He's fine. Like Chris grew up broke. Little Chris grew up super poor. Bear grows up rich. I'm like, Chris gets mad too. He's like, I didn't grow up like that. I was like, well, Dad was poor when you were growing up, so like times have changed.
Oh man.
Oh, he's well aware. He's well aware.
As an oldest child, I can relate to that.
Yeah. You're like, where was this when I was like? You grew up in the struggle. Like you grew up in the struggle. It's fine.
Yeah.
He's a good sport about it. He finds it hilarious, and they get along great. So it's.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much for joining us. You have a big fight coming up against Roman Kopylov on January 11th. Tell us, how's preparation going for that fight? I saw you were in Thailand for a little bit. Did you do a majority of your camp there? I split about 4 weeks in Thailand, and then came back for the last 5. So I did a big chunk out there. For me, it was really nice. Nice to get out of get away from your comfort zone, like go work. Kopylov's a big kicker, really good kickboxer. So you know what? Let's just go get kicked by Thai people and we'll see how that goes. So you know what? Feels good. It's definitely a confidence builder. You're like, okay, if I can get kicked by Thais all day, I can get kicked by this guy. Yeah. Are you planning for more of a striking fight, or are you going to push the grappling?
I'm always going to punch people. It's there's a lot I should grapple, but like, man, I am who I am. I'm 37. I've been punching things for a long time. I continue to punch things. So we'll see if it gets froggy. If it comes down to grappling, we can. I'm trying to be more comfortable mixing my martial arts, as Henry Hoop says. Mix your martial arts, as Henry Hoop says. But at the end of the day, man, I'm always going to be there for striking battles. So we'll see what he brings.
It's something about when you double down. I feel like that's kind of a baller move. Like you're just like, you know what?
It's not even a baller move. I'm just old. I'm very old. I'm an angry old man at this point. I am old man Curtis. It's like they're like, if you wrestle, it'll be 10 times easier. Like, yeah, but I worked a lot. I just want to punch things. Like at this point in my life, I just want to punch things. Like that's what brings me joy. So we'll see. We'll see. It all depends on how he comes to fight. But like when you fight me, for better or worse, what my game plan is. I want to punch you.
Yeah. Well, stylistically, it's a fun matchup because he doesn't seem to want to go to the ground either. Like I think you're both.
Man, he's been wrestling more lately, so maybe it was just against like Caesar. Who knows? But I don't know, man. Hopefully, we'll punch each other a lot. Like the only thing is like. I don't want to have to go chase him around the ring. Like we're in the Apex, which makes me happy. I don't have to chase you in the Apex. There's nowhere to run in the Apex. So I absolutely love the Apex for that reason. People hate it. I don't want to fight there. I love it. That ring is tiny. There's nowhere to go. I will find you. You can run, but there's not. You take 2 steps back, and you're on the page. You're on the fence. So I love the Apex. So hopefully, our styles combined with that tiny ass cage is going to make for a really fun, a really fun fight.
Nice. There have been a lot of fighters that kind of complain about fighting at the Apex and not, feeling that energy that you get at the big arena. Do you have a preference either way?
Ma'am, I fought before I had 30-something fights before I got to the UFC. I have fought in the smallest of venues. I have fought in gyms. I fought in strip mall parking lots. I fought on top of a strip club. Like, I don't need
Nice.
crowds. Like, honest to God, it's funny for me because yeah, crowds are cool. It's always fun. But in there, you know, I could be fighting in front of Jesus. I'm not gonna notice him. Like, it's just me and you. So I'm just one of those people. Like, it doesn't. I like it because especially when it's silent, it's that quiet in there. There's no energy. Now we get to see like who really came to fight. Like, there's no fucking Hulkamania or crowds getting you ready. Like, no, it's me and you. There's no external motivation. Like, how motivated are you for this? And I think that's really fun for me.
Yeah, you seem like the type that thrives in that violent, in the phone booth type of match. And I saw your post recently with Buckley, and you're giving him props for being kind of the same type of fighter.
Dude, no, I love Buckley. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for that dude, man. Like, I'm so happy for Buckley. But like, yeah, man, like in my UFC career, is the one guy I fought so far that felt like, okay, like I'm here to hurt you the same way you're hurting me. Like, we're not trying to like run around and do stuff. We just tried to fight each other, and I love that. And like, I absolutely love that. And for me, man, I'm somebody who thrives in the trenches. Like, I am not this, you know, I'm not this beautiful, you know, fighter jet, like new 5th generation fighter jet. I am an old tank. Like, may not get there at the fastest, but it's going to be a pain in the ass to stop. And like, once it reaches you, you have to fight now. Like, I don't want to run around. I don't want to do all this fancy stuff. Like, no, I just want to fight and see who wants, like, my entire thing in fighting is like, I just want to see who wants to fight more. Like, I don't want to steamroll a guy and like, you know, people like Strickland want to beat a guy who's like helpless. Like, no, I started fighting because of like freaking anime and video games. So I have that, even at 37, I have this really broken thing in my brain to where I want every fight to be that, like, you know, I want this shonen anime music to start playing and we're sitting here fighting to see, like, that's, you don't understand. Like, I tried to practice today listening to the My Hero Academia soundtrack. And for me, I'm just like, let's go. Like, you say run. I want that in my head. And like, it's gotten me in trouble before. I've had coaches be like, hey, it's not a movie, like, go fight. So I'm having to kind of balance those two. But in my head, man, I want that. As weird as it sounds, when I fight sometimes, I'm hoping it looks cool for everybody else. Like, I want it to be a movie for people watching. And like, I want to feel like I'm in a movie. I love that experience. So like, you know, I'm never going to grow up. I'm 37, not going to get any more mature than this. But I know what I like. I just like to fight, man. I like the thrill of it. I like the way it looks in there. I like the way people get to see it. Like, I just fucking love it.
I love that. My birthday is the day after your fight.
Oh,
yeah, and I'll be turning the big 4.
Oh, really?
Oh,
you did it before me? Wow.
Don't tell nobody. But I was laughing at what you were just saying.
Hey. Holy.
We're both old. We both don't crack.
I'm older.
Are you?
Yeah, 41. I turned 42 January 30th.
What are you? I gotta tell you.
She's a vampire. I'm just black.
I am. I'm immortal.
Are you Italian? What is this? Like,
I'm part Italian.
What's the other part? Something's causing you not to age. I'm curious.
It's the olive oil in her
skin.
Yeah,
there's something causing you not to age. You're like, well done. I would never have guessed. Like, yeah. You guys held up well. Like, congratulations. Like, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. But I wasn't pushing for compliments, but I love them. But
you held up wonderful. It's impressive.
But what I was gonna say is I was kind of doing the same thing with my last fight camp. I was watching Hajime no Ippo for the first time, the little boxing anime, and I was just like, yo, I love this shit. And every time I would do pad work and stuff.
Let me teach you something. So I watched Ippo. I first saw Ippo when I was like 16. When I traveled with my love. So this is my computer room, and above my computer.
Hey.
So and I've got Ippo shit everywhere in my house. Like, I've got Ippo shorts. So like that was I definitely understand. Like, I watch a lot of fights. I watched the Takamura versus Eagle fight, Takamura versus Hawk fight. So like, yeah, I am right there.
I can see the technique has transitioned into your style. Like, yeah, just like.
I have people. I laugh. I tell people all the time. I got in this for the wrong reason. Like, like Street Fighter and Tekken changed my life in the worst way, and I've just been living that video game high since I was like 12. And like, it's just it's. So I'm glad there are others who are like, yeah, like I've been watching the Endeavor Nomu fight. It's one of my favorite fights, and just like, yeah, it's just. I drive to practice, listen to you say run. So like, yeah, don't grow. Yeah, it keeps us young.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I saw your other post and what was it like? All Might in the big crater.
That was Endeavor.
Yeah.
That was Endeavor.
Oh, it was Endeavor. Okay.
Yeah. So it's weird.
Yeah.
Like she laughs at me. I'm an underdog guy. So like I'm an Endeavor guy over an All Might guy. Like Endeavor's my guy. Like
Yeah.
Endeavor, Vegeta. I'm always the underdog character.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
I have no idea what you guys
I'm a Sindo guy. What you say?
I said, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, we're
It's
nerding
okay.
out. I'm sorry. We're nerding
speaking
out.
Japanese. It's all good. Basically, you should watch more anime.
You should.
I feel a little left out, so that is like actually, I now need to feel included, so I should probably go watch it. So we have
watch Ippo. You'll love Ippo. It's about boxing. You'll love it. It's a heartwarming thing.
We need to find something that's more like a Real Housewives because they have like the
little bit more drama.
Yeah, the more drama animes out there too. We got to find something.
Give her Attack on Titan and just break her heart. Like, yeah, there you go.
Oh my god, you would actually like because you like the gory stuff, like you like the boys and stuff, right? Yeah, you would like Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that would be it.
Okay. That first year, I couldn't get past the first season. I was just like, "Fuck this."
It just becomes a mind. The longer it goes on, it becomes a bigger and bigger mind fuck, and you're like, "What is happening?" It's insane. It gets worse.
I might like it actually. I like thrillers.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. So you actually would like Attack on Titan because it becomes a mind fuck, and then the way the series ends, you're just like. There's no happiness involved. It's just heartbreak after heartbreak. And then they just like, once you're broken, they just start stomping on you. And you're like, why is this happening? Like just, it's one of those shows to where you can't love any character because no one makes it.
Oh, it's like Game of Thrones kind of.
Game of Thrones has absolutely nothing on the heartbreak of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, better ending, I hope.
Yeah, it's better ending. Like it's more cohesive. Okay. But there is no joy in the way this ends.
Damn.
Yes, and look into that. There's a monster that's based off of Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's most things. Most things.
So it makes it better.
There you go. I always wonder what Brock Lesnar's doing. Like he's out there being Brock. Can you imagine? You're just like at freaking like you go to like freaking Whole Foods and there's just Brock Lesnar walking down the aisle.
Right.
Like what do you do? Like because he exists in real life. He's out there in the wild, in like nature, doing Brock Lesnar shit. So what happens when you just don't know? You just don't know. But he hunts a lot. What if you're like in the woods one day, you see Brock Lesnar like hunting? You're just like,
no, that's where we'd see him, just like dragging a deer carcass with like a gun slinged over his shoulder. That's how I picture him in the wild.
I want to know what deer doesn't notice Brock Lesnar in the woods. Like, I don't care
really
how much camo. I don't care how much camo you're wearing. Like, that's a boulder. That's a moving boulder. Like,
they probably think he's another like steer or something. They think he's one of them.
But whatever deer gets shot by Brock Lesnar deserves it. Like, you look at Brock Lesnar, like, sir, like you obviously you can't hide that. I would love to see him help, like just watch him hunt. Like how? Because he's so fucking big, you can't hide that mass. Yeah. Like any deer shot by Lesnar deserved it. I'm like, bro, like you weren't paying attention. Like everyone else is probably like, you know what, don't go there. That guy wasn't paying the fuck attention. Like that's what happens.
Yeah.
He may have been up in one of those booths that they have in the trees, though.
So there's a boulder in a tree. There is a boulder sitting in a tree. You're just like,
but bears climb trees, so maybe they thought he was a bear. Maybe he was bearing.
So why would you once again leave? Like you were not on your A game that day. Like no.
Listen, I'm trying. I would love to see
Lesnar in a tree just waiting. Deer just like no, like absolutely not. Like
that's fair.
I just don't get it. Like now I'm gonna be thinking about that all day. So like, yeah, that's my new brain rot for the day.
It's survival of the fittest. They deserve to die.
I just feel like he hunts them, he runs them down. Like you shoot the deer, just chasing it in the woods.
Just pounces on it like a cheetah.
Yeah. Last the deer fucking sees Brock Lesnar like fucking huffing puffing at him. Like
oh man.
Oh, that's terrifying.
I would love to see that. Yeah, that could be a whole nature special. You could
hunting deer with his bare hands. Like,
yeah, you can narrate it as if they're both animals.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, this conversation got derailed, but
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry,
I
my
love to.
ADHD is flaming right now. I guess.
No, it's awesome. I love it. I love it. Last time I talked to you too with Karen, it was like this, and
Oh
I
yeah.
just it's really fun getting to know you because I feel like if we were at the same gym, we'd be friends. But
We have a great time. We have a, even
yeah,
it's funny because Lauren's like, I give an interview, and she's like, yeah, because I haven't done interviews at all. I've sworn off doing interviews. I just don't anymore. And she was surprised. I was like, it's Angela Hill. I have to. Like, she's the homie. And she's like, oh, that's fair. I like that.
aw,
But
yay.
I've sworn off doing interviews. I was like, absolutely. And people ask, I'm just like, no interest at all.
Why is that? Is there a particular reason?
Yes, I love fighting. Right, I absolutely love fighting. And like it's weird because I was always the guy going to other people's hometowns to fight. So it's always the good, the guy from out of town. So I came up without a fan base. Really, it just wasn't. I never had like the arena full of people cheering for me. So getting fans, and even more so than fans of detractors, is weird for me. And I realized that like I went my entire career without it. So suddenly having it now is like it's really mentally kind of like puts me in a weird place. And I just don't like it. And then I realized there are really cool fan interactions with. But with sports, MMA, but sports in general, I think there's a lot of like weird parasocial relationship expectations between fans and fighters. And I think when you put yourself out there too much, like, yeah, it does increase your presence, but it gives people this really strange, like, I guess they feel entitlement to you. And with that entitlement, people start saying really weird off the wall shit, off the cuff shit. And I'm like, we're not friends. Like they're and like so another weird thing, people call me Kurt. And I'm like, understand that like my friends call me Kurt. Like if people message me, hey Kurt, I'm like, don't do that. Like that's like my friends call me Kurt. Like that's not and then that's what they made me realize, like, okay, like the love that too much interaction with you gives people that like comfortability to step over the bounds. And normally it's fine, whatever, but people get comfortable saying some really off the wall shit. And I'm like, for me, for my own to help with my love of fighting, I have to kind of back away from that because like some of those interactions really start they drain you, and they really wears on my like desire and love to fight. And like this is what I do, man. Like I love fighting damn near more than anything else. Like, and it sucks for me. And I realized early on that it was some of the fans were just killing my like desire to fight and my love of fighting. So I kind of back away from it for me. And like it's been a lot better. I don't engage with it, back away from it. I will engage with fans, but like I keep it very measured, and I just feel better. And like I do have some amazing fans. I talk to some awesome people. But like, there are fans, have like my private information, we can like talk, whatever. I have some really great fans. But overall, it's just it feels important to me to shrink my circle so that I can protect that energy and so I can like keep my love of fighting instead of like being burnt out, just like letting these people get to me.
I feel that. That's it's funny how sometimes getting fans on your side can be draining, and people think it's the other way, like, oh, watch out, oh, my haters, I hate my haters, blah blah blah. But it's like your lovers too. Like
it's all of it, man. I don't think people so like I don't. So it's gonna sound every time I explain this, it sounds worse than I need to be. I mean, it's like a dick. So like I preface this with like it's gonna come off worse than it means. But like most people, look at social media for example. Most people are never gonna have more than 1,000 followers any given time, 2,000 if you're lucky. Like you're interacting 2,000 followers, you interact with maybe 50 people online. When you start interacting with thousands of people who know who you are, it's something most people will never have to deal with. So you have people come to you talking, saying shit to you, like blah blah blah, and then they're like, "Oh, why are you getting upset with the fans?" Like it's not upset with just you. I have to deal with 25,000 of these messages. I don't care who you are. Eventually, it starts to grate. Like it's like I don't care how mentally tough you are. Dealing with 50 people, cool. 500 people, okay. 25,000 people. And now it's just grating on your nerves. And it's like, it's not even just the you. I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at dealing with all of this. But it's something that most people will never have to deal with. So they're like, oh, you let things get to you. Like, no, I deal with this on a constant basis. They're just tired of it. So I think that like, a lot of fans don't realize just how much you have to deal with on a regular basis. And I guess there are people who can do it. For me, I'm like, nope, not me. Because like I'm from Cincinnati still. Like, don't let the voice and the pretty hair fool you. I will fight you. Like, I will fight you for no reason. Like, I will absolutely fist fight you. Like, I am really financially very well off. Like, I hopefully, by the end of this contract, I'm gonna retire. I'll retire a millionaire. So the thing is, I now have the means to come find you, and I will. And so I have to understand that there's some parts of me that are always in Cincinnati. I'm going to have that in my heart, and part of that is like, bro, we will straight fight you. So I'm like, I can't get involved in this because I have found people. I've been buying tickets, and my girl is like, "What are we doing right now?" And I'm like, "Pack the baby up. We're going to so and so." She's like, "What are we doing?" Like, why? So I'm having to learn that, okay, you can't feed into that part of yourself. So a big part of that is just stepping away, putting up boundaries. It's helped a lot. It's really helped me get back to my love of fighting. I don't watch YouTube videos about me anymore, but I don't I seriously hire a little kid from India, not even being racist. The kid from India hit me up one day and was like, sure. He runs his part of my access to my social media. He just moderates my social media stuff. So shit I don't want to see, he just gets rid of it for me. I'm like, yeah, he'll send me messages nothing important came up. Maybe if anything important comes up, send it to me. So there's so much shit I never even see, and it just makes my life easier. Costs me $100 a month. Great investment.
Yeah. No, that stuff can absolutely be draining. You mentioned retirement though. So I've seen on your Wikipedia that you've retired multiple times. And me, I recently retired and unretired after about a month. So I'm just wondering what brought you back and what made you retire? And
did you
have a retirement in the future that you're thinking?
Did you watch the Usyk Fury fight this past weekend?
No, I missed it.
So Tyson Fury after the fight said something that I've always said, which is great to hear. People understand, man. And he said after he fought Dylan White, he retired. He said, I meant it. Because he absolutely meant it. Boxing, he's fighting. He's boxing fighting is, it's a hell of a thing. It's when it's good, it's great. When it's bad, it's the worst you can possibly be. He's like, it eats your soul, mentally, physically, everything. And he's like, when I retired, I meant it. But the issue is this is the most addicting drug there can possibly be. And there's nothing quite like this to where no matter how bad it gets and you walk away, it is the single most addicting thing in your life. For me, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't party. Fighting is my soul. I always say that I'm very fortunate that I've known what I wanted to do since I was 10 years old. I've always known I wanted to fight people. I didn't know I'd be in the UFC. I thought it'd be more like Tekken, but a Street Fighter, traveling the world just fighting people, but that is highly illegal. So but I always knew though I wanted to fight people. So I've been grateful. So since 10 years old, I've kind of had a one-track mind to what I wanted to do, who I wanted to be, and how I've seen myself. And as you get older, that vision morphs and changes. And a lot of people know what they want to do when they're young, but I've always kind of kept the goal. And everyone sacrifices in their day-to-day life, but I'll say I have sacrificed just an ungodly amount for this. I've lost so much time with my oldest son, which I regret so much. I dated the same girl off and on for 15, 16 years. It was my first real girlfriend. We met in 7th grade. And our engagement ended through no small part to fighting. And so we dated for damn near from 15 to 30. And my engagement ended because of fighting. So I lost that. I've lost friends. I've had people pass away that I wasn't there for because I was too busy fighting. I've missed funerals. I've missed birthdays. I've missed holidays. I've missed births. I don't know how to walk away as much as I want to. And there are so many times when I just been burnt out. You think you're never going to get the shot you deserve. I was the #1 ranked guy in 3 continents. On 3 continents for years. Couldn't get a UFC shot. And you're just like, why am I doing this? But you keep pushing on. After when I got signed to PFL, I actually had really big reservations about going to PFL because I was like, it's 170 in a tournament setting, which I know is going to be really hard on my body. And I was like, if I fuck this up, I'm never going to get signed to the UFC. Fucked it up. So like, I ended up losing in the semifinals, and then they called me back out as I was leaving the building to go fight as the backup. So I went and did that. Everything was going good till it didn't go good. So I get knocked out, and for the first time, I'm just like, bro, like I'm never gonna get signed now. There's no fucking way. So like, why don't you walk away and go spend time with your family? And like, I got a kid who's growing up, and like, like why not go salvage the rest of your life, everything you leave behind? Because like, unfortunately, I think we don't talk about as fighters. I'm sure you two have done this. I know you have. How many times have your life been falling apart, and you're like, I'll fix it after I make it. I'll fix it after I fight. I'll fix it after this camp. I'll fix it after this opportunity. And like, how long do you do that? Like, I know I've done it for years. I know everyone does it. Every fighter does it. The issue is like no one tells you, especially when you're young, you don't realize that by the time you think you can fix it, it's too late. It's broken. You can't put the pieces back together again. So when I've retired, I've been like, why not? Like Chris, like go salvage what you can. But the issue for me is, at my core, more than Chris the person, Chris the dad, Chris the whatever, I identify as myself as Chris the fighter. Like I have the worst Batman mentality ever, where Bruce Wayne's like, no, like, Bruce Wayne's not the real person. Batman is. Bruce Wayne's the costume. Like in my head, Chris the fighter is the real person. Chris the dad and Chris everybody else is kind of the mask you wear. But like at my core, I've always considered myself Chris the fighter. So like the scariest thing about retirement is realizing that you have to be somebody else. And I talked to Forrest Griffin about this last week, actually. He's laughing. He's like, yeah, man, you got to worry about you when you're done. I'm 37. I figure I got 3 more years in me, like 3 more good years in me. I still feel good, but picking up more injuries than I used to. And thank God I recover fast. It's not quite as fast as it used to be. So I'm trying to figure out now how to balance being Chris the fighter and keeping that fire versus having to understand that like soon I have to transition into whatever comes next. But when your entire life has been one thing, and you've identified as one thing, and you've built your entire life around being one person, who are you after this? And like that's what makes retirement scary. And that's why I think we all come back, because at our core, anyone that truly loves this, anyone that pushes, like, how many fights do you have, Jess? How many fights do you have?
20 something. I kind of lost
count. How many have you had, Angela?
Yeah, it's in the 30s.
Yeah, I'm like well into my 40s of just professional fights. So we've all put a decent amount of time in like our lives in this. So like, isn't it weird to think, what do I do when this is gone? This is for me. This is all I've ever known. It's 12 years old, 10 years old. It's all I've ever wanted to be. So it's terrifying, and like part of me does lose sleep over it. Like, what do I do when it's like, what am I when it's gone? But I'm looking out. I've got my kids. I've got people that love me. Starting to kind of transition from the mindset of just being Chris the fighter. So like, yeah, man, like retirement is scary because this is a drug. Not only is it a drug, it's an addiction, but it's your personality. It's who you are as a person for some people. And for me, I built the core of my entire being and being a fighter. So like, man, retirement never lasts because you're like, once you're done, you're looking around, you're like, I don't want to be a regular person. Like, this sucks. I've got no other useful skills. I'm like, oh, this sucks. So you always come back. So hopefully in the next 3 years, I can figure that out.
And you know what else makes it so hard to walk away? When you have some like young hot person come into the gym and they're beating up everyone, and then you fuck them up, and you're like, still got it. You know what? I'm not done.
There are days I've actually executed the entire gym, and then there are days I get beat up, and I'm like, all right, yeah. No, there's some days I've been absolutely beat up, and I'm like, this did not go as planned. Like, everything feels bad. I feel old today. But then there are some days when, like, everything clicks into place and you're like, oh, I still got it. But the issue is, like, as those days where you are the nail and not the hammer become more and more, now you're like, oh, do I risk that happening on a fight day? Like, that's when you're like, oh, man. You ever go out there on a fight day, shit's not clicking in place, and you're like, fuck, all right, gotta make this happen. So as when you're younger, man, you're very rarely the nail. But as you get older, you're like, ooh, you start having more and more nail days.
Did you ever go into detail about what happened at the end of your last fight? You mentioned injuries coming a little easier, and
Oh,
you
God.
took that last one short notice, and it looked like you were taking the last round away. Like I knew it was super close, but like when it
15
came
seconds.
to damage,
God damn it.
it literally,
Oh,
I remember watching that last round, and everyone was just like, "Oh shit, I think he's got it," and then you stood up and you looked
yeah.
wounded, and
So
yeah.
yeah, turns out. So when I took that fight, I had the Iskram fight like pretty much all in the works, but I was gonna fight Ikram. I mean, I butchered his name. I can't remember his last name, but Ikram Alaskar, I think, whatever.
Oh,
I
that
was
one.
gonna fight him. They're talking about that, and then that came up. So the issue with me taking the Brendan Allen fight was I had just resolved, like, okay, I talked to the PI staff, and I've always been really small at 185. So we're like, we're gonna spend some time getting you big. Like, we're gonna get big. They wanted me to get above 205. I've walked around under 205 my entire 85 career. Usually about 200 pounds, 195. So we're like, we're gonna get to like 210 maybe, and we'll feel good. So I was kind of out of I wasn't training as much. I was just lifting, kind of spending time with my family. And then that fight came up. So I was like, I can do it. So I'm still in shape, good. The issue was apparently you can't stuff 2 weeks of cardio and like running and everything else. Like you can't stuff a camp into 2 weeks at 37 years old because it's 36 because your body just doesn't do that anymore. So I was running so much and doing like so much conditioning and running and everything and training that like the entire time my legs were killing me. Like the entire like lead up to that, I was like, oh, my legs are gonna fall off. But we did massage everything, we did fine. But I knew my hamstrings I knew everything in my legs were tight. Last 15 seconds, man, I defend. It's good. I get up as he's holding on. He's trying to pull me back down. I stand him up, and he's really trying to pull me down. So I'm like, I am a grown man. So against my own like judgment, I just fucking deadlift him. I just fucking pull him up like a fucking clean. Like if I guess like a Zercher squat, I just pulled him up. Physically, muscular wise, it was fine, but my leg was still, he was like trying to like trap my leg. So as I did it, I essentially did it on one leg with a fully stretched hamstring, and it just shredded part of my hamstring. Like your hamstring has 3 attachment points. It's like there's like 2 on the inside, 1 in the back. My middle attachment point didn't even like tear like this. It just came apart like a Twizzler.
Oh my God.
So that's what happened. I stood, I just pulled him up. And it was just too much stress from the fight and the conditioning to where it just came apart like a fucking Twizzler. So that was bad. It happened and I felt it in my leg and I was immediately like, like that doesn't feel great. But in my head, I was like, Chris, you won this fight. Just don't fall down. If you fall down, like you'll lose. So in my head, I was like, if you can just stay up, you win this fight. There's no way like you've lost this. Turns out I was fucking wrong, and like judges suck, and I hate judges. And I love Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's a friend. I fucking love Brendan Allen. We're gonna be 76 arguing about who won this fight, and like it's never gonna change. Like I still give him shit all the time, but I love him to death. But like, yeah, man, it turns out I absolutely shredded my hand, the middle part of my hand. I forgot what it's called. I've stopped caring already. But yeah, just gone. Now, am I gonna need surgery? They're like, not really anything to put back. And I'm like, what does that mean? They're just like, yeah, well. On the plus side, you have 2 other attachment points that are strong. So you just build those up. But like, yeah, that middle part's gone. But on the flip side, I feel good. I feel great. And I've got better flexibility in my right leg now.
That's what I was going to say.
Silver linings. Silver linings. Like, yep. So like, we did that. And then I was going to, so I came back from that fast. I got cleared to fight. I was going to fight Kevin Holland. I mean, I heal fast. I don't think I heal like they were. Even the PI is like, you made a really fast recovery. Like screw it. So I got cleared to fight Kevin Holland. The day after I signed that fight, I'm training with what's his name, Cal, and I threw a kick. The last kick in the round, he happens to just step back slightly, and I just shatter. Like I break my foot and I tear the tendons of my foot. I'm just like, God damn it. But different legs. Oh. I just shattered. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, like yeah. But my poor legs have been through hell like this last like year. So yeah, man, getting old sucks. Getting old definitely sucks. Anybody young fighters watching this, do your recovery work young because I never did recovery work until like the last year. because I keep fucking hurting myself. But yeah, that shit. Don't take advantage of being young because that shit goes away, and then you're just crippled and old. So like, do your recovery work, guys.
It's definitely one of those things that make you feel mortal all of a sudden when you suddenly have aches and pains. I think last year or a couple of years ago, I pulled my back for the first time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I pulled my back doing the dumbest thing. I was getting ready for sparring and I was kind of rushing and I reached for my 16-ounce glove. I picked up 16 ounces and pulled my back, picking up 16 ounces. And I was so mad. I was just like stuck bent over, like, Adam, help. I don't know what to do.
It's great, man. Like as you get older, like weird shit just starts hurting you. Like the other day, I didn't even know. I think I wrestled on Monday, and then I wake up. I go to bed Monday, and I felt like my back and shoulders hurt. I wake up Tuesday, I couldn't look to the left. And I'm like, oh, this is just how I am today. And I was stretching, like I could not look to the left. So Tuesday, I just sparred, unable to look to the left. Like it's just you accept this is who you are now. You're like, all right. Luckily, we had Sergey Spivak, a giant heavyweight, like cracked my spine and like kind of moved it back. But yeah, they all spar him. I just can't look left. I'm like, all right, well, new plan. Like, don't circle that way. And like, circle right. So
that's so funny. Yeah. I wouldn't have expected him to be like a chiropractor.
He's just giant rushing. He's like, no, come here, I help you. And I'm like, oh, he just picked me up and like.
You just picture him giving like a bear hug and just fixing.
Yes, he did. It's polar bear indeed. He just picked me up and like shattered my spine. It worked. I was like, thank you.
What a guy.
But it's weird, man. Like when I fought no, it was who was it? It was Gastelum. I had a really bad hip injury. So like this is great, getting old again. I was like 36. I went to the When We Were Young festival, like the emo festival out here, like throwback emo music.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to that.
Oh, loved it. But it went on for way too long. So once again, it's When We Were Young because we're all old as fuck now. Yeah. So leaving the festival after like walking around and standing for like 7 hours, I stepped off a curb, jammed my hip bone into the socket, bruised the hip, chipped off on top of the bone in my hip. And like, so I mean, like that entire camp, I had one, I shit you not, I couldn't walk around for more than 10 minutes without having to sit down. I would go to the store and have to sit in the floor in the middle of the store. I couldn't walk. And they did stem cells, everything. And what put it back was I was wrestling like one of my last like 2 weeks of training, and a guy shot on me, and like he shot hard enough to it moved the hip back in, and like it readjusted, and I was like, oh god, I can move again. But yeah, I stepped off a curb after standing around for too long and just destroyed my hip. Like, so yeah.
I don't go places where I can't sit down because I'm that old. I learned this years ago. Like I need to have sitting room at all times.
Especially when you dress up with your like high heels, your crazy like high heel shoes. Just gets down with the high heels, man.
I am learning finally to where even now, because like Lauren's, we got an age gap. So even now she realizes that I hurt myself. If I go do things, if I walk around for too long, you can train all day, but God forbid you're walking or standing for more than like an hour at a time. Something bad, I get hurt.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's I don't know, man. It's the greatest thing ever. It's just being fighters. Like for me, people laugh because like you see them walk around the gym and be like, you look like petrified wood. Yeah. And they're like, you move like petrified wood. But on the mat, I can float. But the moment we're not training, I can't move. I'm just like I'm like a gargoyle. It's crazy.
You're like Yoda. You just need a little warm up. You walk around with the cane, but as soon as you're warm, you're like all over the place. Dude,
it's the prequel, bro. I drop the cane, pull a saber out. I will go hands down. But the moment this is over, like give me the cane. Everything stops. I'm like broken. Like it's absolutely insane. But it's one of the joys of getting old, I guess. Like, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, you got this.
Oh, dude, I've told everyone the moment I retire, I'm doing all the steroids. I refuse to feel bad. Like when
you earned it.
Dude, so I came up broke. So like when everyone was doing steroids pre-USADA, I just didn't know because I was poor, so it never occurred to me. And then once I found out everyone's on steroids, the USADA came, so I couldn't do steroids anyway. So I'm excited. I want to see how big I get. I want to see how good I feel. I can't wait. The moment I'm done
the right way, go to an HRT clinic, get your blood work, do all that stuff. Do it the right way.
Ma'am, no, see, you don't know me at all. You remember Ninja Turtles, the movie, The Secret of the Ooze?
Yes.
I want to open a case
With the
that like
O's.
smokes and it raises up like the fucking hamburgers over that Soviet Union case with a hammer and sickle. It raises up a fucking tub of like green goo. I want to inject that shit into my veins. Like I want whatever the Soviet Union had. Like give me
God.
that. Give me that vial. I'm gonna feel great.
Just
Like my
pop out
insides
looking
may
like
melt
rock
in 10
steady.
years. Yeah. Like I want that shit Super Shredder had. Like Shredder, you'll kill us all.
And then you could join the PFL again, and you'll be fine.
I get you right back. Yeah. I mean, if I'm retired as a heavyweight, you know what happened. Like you know what you fuck. I come out like you fucking look like Yoel Romero. You're like, how do you get that big? Like, that Chris Mess spent 2 years in Russia, came back giant. Like, yeah.
Yeah, everyone knows. I'm
excited. I am excited. Like, oh, dude, man, I'm gonna be like whatever the Russians have. I want. I can't wait.
Yeah, or the Chinese too. But I think you got to get in young with the Chinese. Like, I think
that's like gene therapy. Like they're like you're like 6 years old. They're like fucking doing tests on you. Like, yeah, they start young.
I feel like they do that in Russia too.
Well, in Russia, they grow you from a test tube, and then they you're in a tube, but like injecting you with shit. So your entire life, you're like, or they just give you the lotion with the steroids in it. But I want the ooze, man. I want the fucking ooze. I want the smoke, and it be like fluorescent green. And you're like, is that healthy? I'm like, I don't know.
It's radioactive, but
yeah,
that's how you know it's good.
Yeah, my insides will melt in 10 years, but before that happens, I'll be a god. I can't wait.
Superhero.
I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. Like, would you do that? I'm like, yes. I will trade. Like, I will trade those 10 years for like everything. It's gonna be great. I'll be fighting crime and shit. It's gonna be wonderful.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm really excited for you. I'm excited for your after fighting plans.
Right? Oh, I'm gonna be fighting
better than everyone's I've talked to.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a cape. It's gonna be great. I'm excited.
Blink man over here.
You're gonna realize your Batman aspirations.
Yeah, dude, right? Just out here just wilding out. They're just like, oh, it's just Chris. Like, it's gonna be crazy. My son laughs because he's like, I want to like own a cabin in Alaska when I'm old. Am I gonna live with you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna be like crazy, like running in the lake, like screaming at people. He's like, yeah, just old man Curtis. So like, my son accepts I'm gonna be insane. He accepts it. He's like, you're gonna be insane. It's fine. I'll take care of you. I'm like, good kid.
Aw, yeah. He sounds awesome.
He's just like, it's fine. You live with me. We just tell the neighbors, like, don't mind you.
That's awesome. Well, Chris, thanks so much for your time. I feel horrible keeping you this long on Christmas Eve.
I'm not doing. I don't do holidays. I told you. Like, the kids are off somewhere.
Differently.
No, so once again, show you guys, like, Lauren does things. There's like trees, one-piece bag, all that stuff. Like, that's cool. No, I did nothing. I funded this, and that's my thing. Like, I swipe credit card, but I have no hand in any of this.
Nice. I feel like you technically helped.
Yeah, that you know what? That was my argument. Like this, like I did help in my own way, and I think that counts. And that's all that matters. We all came together for this. Thank
you. That's what the holidays are all about, coming together.
Right? It's teamwork. And like, I did my part, and her part was the decorating and the picking the ornaments and putting them up and cleaning up afterwards. My part was the paying for it.
Hey, there you go.
Everyone wins. Everyone wins. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, well, I'm excited to see, what you bring to the table next year, right before my birthday. I'll be
happy early birthday too.
Thank you.
She's expecting we're gonna get a shout out in the cage.
I'm expecting, at least a shout out, especially if you pull out some anime shit.
I am like 95% sure we're gonna give each other CTE. So I will absolutely try, but like no promises. But I will try my hardest to remember that.
All right, that's enough. The fact that you said that now is enough. You don't have to worry about it.
I'll throw it up in the interviews before the fight. Like the fight week interviews. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Don't tell them I'm 40 though. Just be like, you have to guess.
27. Angela Hill's 27th birthday. Like, you can pull it off. It's fine. It's fine.
All of a sudden, on my tail of the tape, will be like 27, now 28. Recently
just scratched out. Like, there you go. Scratch it out. I'm down for it.
Nice, nice. So I can't wait to see what you guys bring to the table. I feel like this is a great matchup for you, so I'm super excited to watch it, and I hope you have a great finishing of your fight camp.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you do, like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I don't know. Like,
Oh
shit,
yeah.
yeah. There's something.
Oh,
There's
one
something.
more thing. I was thinking, man, you would have a great origin story because like with the whole Trump stuff, now
Oh
that
God, yeah.
well, like
Oh
now
God.
it's not even like a character to be a MAGA guy. Like I feel like Colby's character is dead now because like the entire UFC is MAGA. I felt like there would be a great chance for someone to come out as like the super woke villain.
Dude, no, I'm already the woke villain. I'm moving to Thailand, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, in
Why?
March. Yeah, and we're
Oh,
filling out the. Yeah, I'm moving in March. Yeah.
You live
nice,
like a king
nice.
over there. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna take a little break from the craziness. I'll come back when the smoke settles and the fires have gone out. So yeah, we're gonna have in Thailand for a few years. Like, yeah.
Dang, dang. Well, you'll be a billionaire over there, so
Yeah,
happy
it's,
for
it's
you.
great. I love it. Yeah, I'm super rich. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, because I already have this in my Amazon cart, but you know how everyone, like all the Russians and people from different countries, get to wear the cool hats. I wanted
Oh
to
yeah.
get the woke, like dashiki hat, like.
Oh, dude. So understand. I can do a great Hotep. So Vegas is full of
Yes.
Hoteps. I do great. I do a great Hotep, and like people like I will fuck with anybody. And like so,
Yes.
I am well known for like Hoteping people, and they're just like, yes. Do you know what a Hotep is?
No,
I saw the
Oh,
look on your
tell
face.
us.
I was
You've
like,
been
I was
around.
waiting for somebody to explain.
If you've been around Vegas or New York, and you see like the black dudes in the shikis with the ankh necklaces, like brother. Let me tell you a second. Let me talk to you 1 second, my brother. You do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which comes from the Swahili word bajuju, which means protect family. So what I'm telling you, my brother, is a Brazilian man stole Jiu-Jitsu from the black man who stole it from the Japanese man. But bajuju is the black man's art. And you're just like, everything becomes about like, everything was stolen from black people. It's people like the Hoteps are like super like, black people were first and we invented everything. And then like, the black man invented space travel, my brother. And you're like,
Yeah.
do tell. Like, how do we do this? Because in Africa, my brother, we would take an herb that would send our spirits to the spirit plane. You're like, oh my God, like you fucking people. So
That's where the
Hoteps are
pyramids
wild.
came from.
They
Yeah.
have the hat and the ankh. Like, oh, it's great. Like, Hoteps are
Yeah.
wild. So like,
No, I love it.
I'm a very good Hotep. I love doing Hotep shit. Some of my friends. So like, yeah.
I love it. Next time, if we see those guys in Vegas, we'll hold hands and then they'll have a lot of shit to say about us walking by.
Oh, dude. I have like we've gone on Fremont Street. I've been with Lauren, and he started to say something. I had to look at him like, bro, I will drag you on the side of this concrete. Like, don't start with it. Like, they have an issue with everything. I had to look like I will drag you on concrete. Like, don't ruin everyone's night because I'm going to jail. You're going to the hospital. Like, don't do this. Like, they know when to stop. But like, oh, Hoteps are insane. Like, good times though. Like, if you have an hour, find Hoteps and listen to them. They will blow your fucking mind.
They'll probably try to get your number too. That'll probably be the first thing they do.
Also, like, yes, they will. Like, they're like, oh, like the white man has ruined blah blah blah. Then nobody's looking, they will ask for your number. Like, hey,
yeah.
Like,
hello, my sister. I can see you from a royal bloodline. I see the majesty in your face, the way you walk.
Oh my God! Oh, that is perfect.
Like what you got in you? Like
that is fucking perfect. Oh my God, it was so oh my God.
I went to college in New York, so there was a lot.
I'm so sorry.
And it was art school too, so I was always walking around Harlem with a bunch of white kids, and then there would always be a speech. So, yeah.
Oh my God! Like New York is like Hotep Central, so like that is like I'm pretty sure there's like a Hotep temple there. Like it's like it's absolutely wild. I can only fucking imagine. I remember going on Times Square with Hoteps. And I was like, y'all just out here. Like, there's like warring groups of Hoteps don't get along with each other. It is amazing. Like, that's the West Side Story I need.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, I'm gonna
East
write
Harlem
that.
And West Harlem. Yeah,
I'm gonna write that myself. A Hotep West Side Story. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, so you can practice that whole spiel during your next press conference. If you're forced to do interviews, just go into Hotep mode.
I have Hotep my weekly interviews before. Like, so my next interview session, like, hopefully, I'm working on just doing an entire interview based on movie references. just to see like how much people catch. Like, yeah, so I put together a bunch of like soundboard shit I can say. So I'm really curious is like if I get a chance, can I completely string together an interview with just movie references?
Is it all like Denzel Washington monologues?
Just random. My ADHD is absolutely crippling, and like this is what I spend my time doing. I don't sleep. I'm just like, can I string together an entire press conference with movie quotes? And I think we'll try it. Like, yeah.
I love that. Well, I can't wait to see it.
Thank you guys for having me. Seriously, I appreciate it.
Thanks for all your time, man. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the grind and can't wait to watch you fight.
Yeah, good.
Thanks, guys. Happy holidays.
Thanks.
I will see you later.